Good morning, my brothers and sisters. Welcome to episode 18 in the book of 1 Corinthians. I'm going to talk about Christian friendship. What is Christian friendship? Listen to Paul as he talks about Timothy in this passage, as well as some of the difficulties that they're facing. He's in a passage of pushing towards Christian maturity. He's pushing the Corinthians towards Christian maturity. And one of the things he says is, follow me, be like me, be imitators of me. And then he's going to give like this mini-me guy here in Timothy. This is from 1 Corinthians chapter 4 and verse 16. I urge you then, be imitators of me. That is why I sent you Timothy, my beloved and faithful child in the Lord, to remind you of my ways in Christ, as I teach them everywhere in every church. Some are arrogant, as though I were not coming to you, but I will come to you soon if the Lord wills, and I will find out not the talk of the arrogant people, but their power. He's talking about the difficulties in the church. Well, I'm going to start on Timothy. This is why I sent you Timothy, my beloved and faithful child in the Lord, to remind you of my ways in Christ, as I teach them everywhere in every church. All right, so we've been learning about the posture of what Christianity is. It's a humble posture. There's activities on the outside that Christians do. There's activities on the inside that Christians do. So he's pushing people towards Christian maturity, and now he's going to use this spiritual reproduction and spiritual examples of real people, and this is here Timothy. He says, be imitators of me. I am walking this path correctly, and there are people maybe in your midst that aren't doing this correctly, and I'm going to send you another person who is walking this path correctly. So here he is. He's Timothy. He's my beloved. He's my faithful child in the Lord. So the passage talks about connection with people who are walking faithfully. Paul, Timothy, I've heard people say that maybe there was a 20-year gap between them. He calls him his child. It could be closer in age, and he could be his spiritual child. That could be the way he's using the word. But time and time again, it seems that there's both a maturity level difference and an age difference. Now, this is a joyful and encouraging relationship, and the care that is expressed through Paul is going to be requested by Paul later on. So just because it's a little bit more of a one-way relationship for a time doesn't mean that it's not going to be a reciprocal relationship. So those who rely on you during a particular chapter of your life, you may need to rely on during another chapter of your life. And he calls this person, Timothy, his child. And you know the idea of one person bearing a family resemblance. And so Paul is saying with regards to Timothy, is he's bearing a family resemblance here. You can imitate me and you can imitate him. And it's one who looks like you. And why is that? Well, because Paul has found a faithful person, spent time with that faithful person, got to know him, took him on a missionary journey, the second missionary journey, and now here on the third missionary journey, he either has sent him or is going to send him. It's a little unclear in the text, actually. All right, so what does Christian friendship look like? Just a couple practical points. Number one, it probably means that you're going to share a meal, because people eat 3 times a day or so, and if you're spending time with that person, you're likely going to do it over that time period where normally you eat. So consider that. You'll probably be sharing a meal together. Secondly, it probably means you're going to share an activity. Now, it could be a ministry. It could be an activity. Maybe you guys go skiing together or something. You share some sort of a shared interest. Number 3, it probably means that you are faithful over here while that person is being faithful over there. So Paul is describing, I'm sending you Timothy into Corinth while I go off and teach other people, them, everywhere in every church. So they are on the same big team, which is being on Team Jesus, but they're both having different ministries, which is fine. So they can be faithful in one place and faithful in another place. All right, fourth concept. It probably means that you share a mission. He calls him his child in the Lord. So this is the Team Jesus thing, is they are on mission together, big mission, even though it may not be the specific local mission. Number 5, it probably means that you share time. That's how you get to know a person. That's how all these things happen. Number 6, it probably means you share a word about Jesus. So this is not just a friendship. This is a friendship that includes a question like, how are things in your spiritual life? What's going on in your life? So it's not just sharing activities. It's more than that. 7th concept, it probably means you have to ask, because Paul did that for Timothy, and in 2 Timothy chapter 2, Paul says, and what you have heard from me in the presence of many witnesses, entrust to faithful men who are able to teach others also. So he's telling Timothy to make another generation. So if Timothy is one generation, Timothy to the next guy is another generation, and it's a relationship that typically needs to be asked for. Number 8, it probably means that you're going to encounter difficulty. It's the real word. It could be economic difficulty, health difficulties, character difficulties, sexual difficulties. These are the real life things that real friends deal with each other. Number 9, it probably means that you're going to walk through those difficulties together. You're going to have a lot of humanity in common. Number 10, it probably means that they will be entrusting and encouraging and sharing and looking for another person. It probably means that you need to encourage them to keep encouraging others so that the generations keep on going. So the point here is to have some spiritual friends, faithful and trustable, sharing what you know, share what you're learning, share your life, share your meals, share your activities, share your ministry, share your mission, and be ready to ask, be ready to look for this person, be ready to look for a person who is beloved and faithful. That is what Christian friendship is all about. Thanks for listening.